Welcome back to In the Spotlight. I'm Shirley Lin. Now, here with me, I have Roma and Manav Mehta, who are, well, Roma is the director and Manav is the curator of the Red Room, and we're right at the Red Room right here. It's a huge, squarish, huge room, really, and it's part of the Air Force Base, yes. But anyway, so what is the Red Room? We're going to find out from Roma and Manav, okay? So first of all, Manav, you're the curator of the Red Room, but first of all, I want you to tell our audience what is the Red Room and how it came about.
So the Red Room essentially was, it was just the name for an event called Stage Time and Wine that we would run once a month on the third Saturday of every month. And it was to create, through Aisha, my sister, and Ping and Roma, basically their idea was to create, well, Aisha's idea was to create a platform for all of her friends, because she's a musician, so she has friends who are painters, who are poets, who are storytellers, and the original purpose was simply to have an occasion, a gathering for all of them to kind of mingle, hang out, and each of them to have an opportunity to express themselves, share something. So we set a few guidelines, kind of like a lot of open mics out there, and the format was everyone comes in, they contribute a bottle of wine, they bring a vegetable to contribute to our stone soup, and they each sign up at the front desk, wherever we had it, to go up on stage and share something. And we set a guideline for 5 minutes so that everyone had a chance.
Right.
And so we did that once a month, and we got a big, you know, lots of feedback, a lot of attendees, a lot of people who contributed and shared, and it became a bit of a, you know, a festive occasion. It was nice, and it was very warm, and I think the one word that came out the most after that was, it was really intimate. And especially like the kind of behavior we're encountering every day, not a lot of things are very intimate. You know, the way we exchange thoughts, the way we share ideas, a lot of it's through a digital format, you know, whether it's the computer or your cell phone. There's a lot of distance between you and whoever you're communicating to. And so even at a bar, you know, some people feel insecure. Even though I'm surrounded by 80 people, I don't feel secure enough to engage with anyone there. But the Stage Time and Wine occasion was simply like, let's break that barrier. Okay. And
well, you mentioned about Ping earlier. We need to fill in our listeners or our viewers about who Ping is. Zhu Ping, he is actually the founder of Aveda, and I think by accident he met your sister over in
Dulan. In Dulan, in Taidong County.
Oh, right, Taidong. So, and then got talking, and this is how this whole Red Room got started. Wait a minute, why Red Room? Why called Red Room?
Aisha would have to be the one to answer that.
Your sister, yes. And she's over in Melbourne right now, so you can answer for her.
I have no idea why it's called Red Room. I was part of it when it was, I was part of the naming of Stage Time and Wine.
Okay.
And I kind of just jumped in after they had already established this idea of Red Room. I don't know if you know why it's the Red Room.
This room is not even red. I mean, there's a red chair.
It escapes me.
There's a lot of red.
Cushions, the door, the antiques. You know?
Well, we'll give you a view about those later, all the reds here in this room. And also the sign. You know, who designed this?
Levin Huang.
Oh, yeah.
So we had been running for a good year, and we wanted a logo. And we were celebrating our first year anniversary in a big way at Huashan, Wenchuangshu. And so we wanted to consistently bring out that community contribution feel. And so we opened it up and we asked a number of people to contribute logo designs. And we had a little vote with a group of people, and Levin's the one that came out on top.
So what is it though? Can you describe it?
Can I describe the logo?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of relates to yin and yang, the way I interpret it.
Yeah, I figured that much.
Sure, so all-encompassing in its own way. It's obviously red, and these happen to be the letters ED and OOM. And these two spheres were simply a symbol we could use. And
ED and OOM?
Red.
Oh, got it.
Room.
Okay, so it's the R-E-D and then the R-O-O-M. Got it.
Yeah.
Red Room.
It's also two R's.
Yeah.
If you look at it just that way. Yeah.
Right.
So.
Exactly.
And I think if I were to just go ahead and try and answer that question for why it's the Red Room, I think, you know, ask yourself, what does red mean to you?
Red is a very Chinese color.
Sure.
You know, it means celebrity. Well, you know, no, the word is Yes, yeah.
Auspicious.
Popular.
It's also auspicious.
Celebration.
Yeah.
Celebration. That's what I meant. Right.
Passion, love,
Passion.
wine. You know, and so the color of what, you know, our heart, our organs, our internals, like everything that is close to one another. It's a really strong color to relate to for anyone.
Okay.
And so I to answer that, I'd be like, why not the red room? You know, if they called it the blue room, it would seem rather, I don't know.
Gloomy.
Blue.
Yeah, gloomy.
Like Blue
That's a word.
Monday.
Yeah.
Monday blues.
But I mean,
Okay.
we are night owls, so we're a big fan of lunar,
Alright.
big fan of moonlight, big fan of that kind of atmosphere. But still, and I think the fact that we're in Taipei, Taiwan, to have that relation to the Chinese culture as well, where red is a, you know, not so much in the communist aspect of things, but more on the, like you were referring to, you know, the culture, the antiques, the artwork, a lot of that red pops out. And so it's really how you interpret it. And red room just kind of worked, and it rolls off the tongue.
Yes. And so, okay, so people come here, and basically, you don't have a lot of strict rules. I mean, anybody can just show up, and then if they decide on the spur of the moment to sign up and do a 5-minute thing on stage in front of everybody, that's all fine. So it could be either people saying their own songs or whatever, or you're saying, I don't know, maybe people want to tell jokes.
Sure.
That too.
Original writing, poetry.
Poetry.
We've had somebody just walk up and say, I've had a really bad day. Do you mind if I just sit here and scream? And she did for 5 minutes. And we all got up and embraced her after she'd finished. And that's the kind of reception you get, you know?
I also coined her the Red Room Banshee. I'm not sure how fun she is with that title. But yeah, no, that's stage time and wine, right? Yeah. And Red Room and stage time and wine for a long time were associated as one thing. In reality, we're trying to express to the larger demographic and also our core Red Roomers that now to understand that Red Room is a space, it's a community, and it's a combination of a lot of things. Stage time and wine is that one format of an event. And so, yeah, we opened up people to come up on stage, they tell jokes, you know, they read poetry of their own or from, you know, admired authors.
Can they talk about maybe starting up a business or something? Can they talk about
Of course,
that?
if it's something that is culturally influential or artistically inclined, we're more receptive as a crowd. But if it's something where you're trying to market a commercial goods or products, overall, you're not going to get a good feedback to begin with. And we also, and my job and our future hosts and other hosts we've had on board, our job essentially is to make sure we mediate that so that that doesn't happen too often. If you want to promote something, you let us know ahead of time and then we'll do it for you. And we'll talk about it to the crowd for you because we'll have a different spin to it. Rather than plugging in someone else's advertisement, we'll help. Express that to the crowd of people and you can just be who you want to be and share. Maybe talk about why you started it rather than how to get involved and how to buy my product. So we have fewer of those.
Do everybody have to speak English if they go in front of... No?
All languages are welcome.
All languages are welcome.
Always have been.
She's gone up in Hindi, we've had Spanish, we've had Japanese, we've had gibberish.
You would have people to translate on the side?
If they want to or they don't.
They want to.
We receive it anyway.
I think,
the experience. I think it's all about the experience and that's why it's important to be present because just seeing it on a video or hearing it somewhere is not going to be the same feeling. And there's a lot of things we understand without understanding specifically the language, right?
Wow, yes.
So.
Okay, this is actually not the first Red Room. I think this is like, because or you moved? I thought that there was another one.
We just moved in September.
Oh, okay, I got it. It got bigger, right? Yeah. When you were over at Taiwan Road, that was smaller and you've gotten bigger. You had to expand because there are more and more people, is that why? Attending?
Yes, in a way, yes, but also because this was an opportunity that came up. The Taiwan, this is the old Taiwan Air Force Base, which has been abandoned for almost 12 years. And there's a team here, Wei Gongstein, what's the official name of the company? Wei Gongstein. Anyway, the Taiwan Air Force Innovation.
They're representing the innovation base at the Air Force. They helped mediate this project between the ministries of culture, education, and industrial department.
Right.
So that's my team. I don't know the official title.
So the government has recognized you, recognized the Red Room. Would you say so?
We are registered under the Ripple Maker Foundation, which is an actual foundation founded by Chuping and
Yes.
Ming, right? And the Red Room is under that, and so is the Happier Cafe, which is next door. So we're both under that foundation. And because this was considered as a social innovation project, trying to drive the youth and Taiwan towards more socially innovative activities and programs, we kind of qualified because we've been pretty much doing that for the last 5.5 years.
Sure.
So that's one of the reasons why we qualified to come into this space. So it wasn't like we were out looking for a space. It just became an opportunity that came
That's a
by.
blessing.
Yes,
Yeah, that's really
it's only
great.
a 6 months project.
Right.
So yeah, it's a pop-up for 6 months only. So all 3 entities in this building that you see are signed up only for 6 months,
6 months?
until March.
Oh, then what happens afterwards?
We don't know.
You have a new president of Taiwan.
Yeah, okay, yes, that is true.
It won't be up to us to decide.
I
But we're
see.
quite happy for this opportunity for 6 months to see if we can expand that community and do more programs based on, you know, the community that we built in the last 6 years.
So what's the drive for the success of the Red Room?
The drive for the success?
Yeah, what's the cause?
You belong.
What brought?
You belong to each other. People help each other. They tap into. Red Room creates an opportunity for anyone to tap into their own creative energy and find a platform or an opportunity to realize it. So you find people who can help you, who can work with you, whether it's an artist or a musician or photographer or just somebody who likes to stitch and sew or do anything. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think I see somebody's, an artist's work up here.
2.
Oh, 2, yeah, right here in the Red Room right now. That is really, really neat. So what are people getting out of this? What have people left telling you when they left this place?
I'll let you answer some of that.
What are some of the comments or some of their responses?
Well, so we started out with Stage Time and Wine, which I mentioned lightly earlier was an intimate setting that connected one to the other.
And everybody brought their own juice, right? That was your encouragement, wasn't it?
Sure, wine, juice,
Wine,
soda,
juice,
beer,
whatever.
and you contribute to the soup, and basically you're
Yeah,
part
you
of a
offer
community
soup.
feeling. And they take away what they contribute. And that makes it, in a way, less work for us. We simply make sure and ensure that the space is welcoming. We invite the right people. We attract the right people. We are, hoping to be the right people in the midst of such a huge crowd of, individuals who want to contribute, want to give, want to learn. And one of our main points was for a performance, for Stage Time and Wine, you break that fourth wall. It's not you sitting back, folding your arms and expecting the show. It's you being receptive, you thinking, you listening. And I think a lot of our few things are lines we like to use, not so much slogans, but more just lines to express what we do is that, 1, we celebrate amateurism. 2, we mediate and curate creative platforms for people. And overall, we hope to continue creating, with our community's help, a listening space. So now that we're in the Red Room at a larger scale, we do gallery events, we do live music events, we do radio short story events with Red Room Radio Redux, run by Ruth Giordano. We have a friend in Elan who does a lot of craft work, and he created a handmade bar from driftwood and old woods.
It's all upcycled. It's no new wood has been used in that at all. It's all discarded pieces of furniture that he's put together.
A gentleman named Ben McCaffrey. The antiques were provided by Bywin Antiques.
And what about this like old Chinese style bed? Yes, all made of wood, and that's a nice piece of thing. This doesn't even look.
It's more than a thing. It
doesn't even look old. It's like very well preserved. So and then you've got 4 pieces of huge red rugs in the middle, where it's for people to sit down on the floor while, here right where we are is the stage. Have you performed here in this stage area, Manav?
Performed?
Yeah, you yourself.
For this new Red Room space?
Yes.
No.
No?
No.
You haven't had your chance yet.
I haven't
So
wanted that chance.
You're building up to this chance, right?
Well, I think it's been like close to 6 years. So I used to be the MC for Stage Time and Wine for the first 5 years, or 4 years and 9 months, or whatever. And as the MC, you want to make sure that the crowd and the atmosphere is consistent and it's upbeat and it's fun, and make sure everyone who's performed felt engaged and felt appreciated. So I used to write poems, I used to play a few songs, I used to be there, and I used to have the right quirks or right statements or the wrong ones to say. That was my performance, that was my contribution. So I've performed before, but I still get just as nervous. And it's been like 5.5 years.
You never get used to it.
This new space, there's so many people who want to perform, and I feel personally, I'm kind of consumed running this with our team that I haven't sat down to write anything. This is something I want to do.
This is really wonderful. I mean, I got the feeling that people nowadays, especially young people nowadays, they all want a stage to express themselves, to share their ideas, or even like to let out, pent up emotions or whatever. And I think this is the very space, am I right, that you're creating for people.
It's a safe space to share.
Right, and it's a healthy space because people all need to share, let out, contribute, so they don't feel like they're always taking, but they can also give.
Right.
Because that's how you contribute to the stone soup, which that everybody brings something to put in the soup and becomes a very yummy soup, right, at the end. Well, that is really wonderful. Where do you want to go from here?
Oh, we've been sort of playing it month by month. We have no big plans or a 5-year projection of any kind, never has been. It's, we kind of go with the flow,
Right. What was that one statement on creatives? Creatives go from one project, and once they're complete with that project, they go to the next project, and they go to the next project. Like we don't have a 5-year plan. And I think that's one of the reasons why this has turned out the way it turned out.
Because I think people all need to be dreamers. And I think both of you are dreamers, including your daughter, and maybe your husband too. You're dreamers.
Well, I think Ping is also a pretty big dreamer, and he's a visionary, and we have to give him credit for believing in everything that's happening and has happened, and being so supportive. And he keeps encouraging because he does a lot of talks all over the universities and at different seminars and things, and he's written a few books to encourage people to break out of that shell and explore. And so he's done his fair bit in spreading the word and letting people come and experience what we've created here. So he keeps bringing new people in to just and some stay and some don't.
Yes.
You can never please everybody, right? But I think he's also been a pretty big visionary in this whole process. I would have to give him credit for that.
All right. Well, that is really great. Well, before we say goodbye, though, I want to ask you 2 questions.
Okay.
Just pop 2 questions.
May I interrupt you just to say, because I want to just quote something we use a lot over here.
Okay.
And it's a quote by W.B. Yeats. It's something we truly believe and embrace. We remind everybody, every Stage Time and Wine and every event, that there are no strangers here, only friends you haven't yet met.
Aw, that is very sweet.
Yeah, it kind of sums it up.
That is a very comforting statement. Yes, that is very nice. I like that. Okay, so 2 questions, and that is, what's the first thing you think of when I say your favorite Taiwanese food? Roma?
I like dumplings. I love sui jiao.
Oh, 水饺, dumplings, okay.
Yes.
It's these, a pastry, kind of doughy pastry on the outside, wrapped with some meat and vegetables, all, the filling, and then you either cook it or steam it.
Correct.
And dip it in soy sauce, and that's a yummy thing.
Yeah,
Yes, that is right.
I can live on that for a long time.
All right, good. Nice and simple. Yeah, fast to go. What about Manav? What's yours?
Every single 青菜 available in Taiwan.
Vegetables.
Like all of it.
Right,
So
Manav
good.
just named off a whole lot of different vegetables here in Taiwan.
Well, we have such a huge variety of green vegetables
Greens,
here.
yes,
And they're cooked fresh and brought to you fresh. And
I mean, they're covered in salt and MSG, but it's so good.
Okay, another one. What's the first thing you think of when it's a must-go place for tourists? Roma?
I would have to say Miaoli, because I just visited there like 2 weeks ago. We went up to the mountain to Shepa, I think it's Shepa
National Park?
It's at 1900 meters. It is drop dead gorgeous. It's so peaceful, and it just cleanses all the cobwebs in your head, and you come out feeling like a new person.
You love
it's just
nature.
beautiful. It's very beautiful, and we spent a lot of time with the Thaya community there, and they were very
one of our
welcoming.
Aboriginal tribes, yes. Okay.
And they were extremely welcoming, and it was really fun hanging out with them and meeting them. But just, so they're very welcoming, and they're happy to welcome visitors. But it's just a beautiful place to travel through those mountains.
It's only like a couple of
and there
hours
are
drive
so
away, right?
many, there are so many beautiful places in Taiwan.
Oh, I know, yes.
Yeah.
But you can only name one.
Okay, I named
what
one.
What about Manav?
Well, I was, we grew up in Tianmu, Yamingsan, so if you're going to come to Taipei, I can't think of a spot in the city. I would definitely just say in the mountains like Yamingsan, and I can't name one spot. I would have to say just get on the right shoes and just go.
All right.
Because that's what's so beautiful about Taiwan.
Right.
I mean, it's really humid. It's one negative aspect to it. But overall, it's beautiful up there. And that's the greenery, the nature, the natural side of Taiwan. That's what I would push for.
Good.
Yeah.
That Yami Mountain is just right outside Taipei City, so it's a little drive up the hills. Yes. Thank you. Well, thank you so much. This has been wonderful, and I'm happy for you guys with the Red Room, and I hope that it continues to do well and attract even more people. So thank you so much for what you're doing
Shirley.
for the people of Taiwan. Thank you.
Oh, for us too.
All
Believe me.
Okay.
Brings us great pleasure. But thank you for this
Okay.
interview.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching Into Spotlight. I'm Shirley Lin.